What is going on, dudes? Lady dudes, welcome back to Just Nuts. Alright, so, about what, 5 days ago, I made a video about Konami saying that starting 2 days from then, they were going to do a vote on 20 different archetypes, and whichever one won after about 12 days, I think 13 days, 2 weeks maybe, we would know exactly what deck was going to win, and also get a structure deck made for itself specifically. And also, we were going to get an update on what the top 5 decks were moving on to the final, I guess, round where only those 5 decks were eligible. But we're still about 3 days away from that, 4 days away from that. I believe, I want to say Thursday is the day where that will be a thing. So I think Thursday, 3 days from now, is when they'll be cutting to the top 5 and letting us know. But I didn't know they were going to give us an update in between then, and we have one. Just as a quick heads up to everybody, we do have a top 10 so far out of those 20. So we'll jump into that. I'm not really going to talk about the ones that didn't make it to the top 10 so far. They still can jump into the top 10, before things finalize out. So if you haven't voted and you want to, go ahead and try and figure that out. I think you have to go to like specifically the Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh website, and you have to be signed into an official Konami like account, and then you have to place your vote that way. So it is a little bit tedious and jumping through hoops, but if there's a deck you really want to try and give a chance to, you might as well throw it in there, because I haven't done it yet, and I'm telling you, 2 of the decks in the top 3 are for me, but I think I need to put a vote in. So, guys, let's just jump right in it. We'll go from 10 to 1, because that's more exciting, I guess. We'll start with Dark Lords. This isn't really surprising. I think around 10 is where I would probably have guessed them to be. Yeah, just not so surprising here. Number 9, Blackwings. I was actually surprised about this one. I guess maybe it's just the fact that Blackwings are, like, I think maybe more popular over here in North America than they might be in all the Asian-speaking countries. The Asian countries, all of those countries that take up the OCG, because this is mainly going to be being voted on by OCG players. So I'm not crazy surprised. I was a little surprised. I was like, wow, I kind of expected Blackwings to be really near the top, but they're really not. But also, they're one of those decks that already can compete. It has been getting top cut spots, so maybe people just think, I don't want to vote for Blackwings because I want like a new deck to rise up. Like, Blackwings are already competitive right now at this point, so that's cool. Next up is Fable. This is one that I am pretty surprised about. I didn't think this would be anywhere near the top 10, but I guess it has sort of a cult following, and also the fact that it's like never been good. Maybe people are just like, let's make something that's never even had a chance to be good a little better here. But yeah, it's okay. I don't really hate Fable at all. Like, you know what? All these are like, I'm cool with whatever, honestly. There are some I definitely are more inclined to root for than other ones, but for the most part, whatever wins, I'm just excited for a new structure deck regardless. Then we have the Phantom Knights plus Burning Abyss. This one in 7. Not super surprised. I was skeptical because I wasn't sure how well the OCG takes Phantom Knights at Burning Abyss, but it seems they take them at least fairly well, but not quite top 5 material. Next up is a huge surprise to me, Sacred Beasts. So Sacred Beasts, one of those decks that one of the decks that isn't even a deck. It's like a couple monsters that are just big boss monsters, and I guess people want Konami to just develop a whole archetype around the Sacred Beasts and make them a legitimate thing. I guess that's sort of what we're headed towards, but at least for now, they're sitting in at number 6. Maybe they'll move up into the top 5, but we'll have to wait and see. Next we have Crystal Beast. Not really surprised here. Obviously, I talked about it. Jesse Anderson, I believe is his name, being one of the main protagonists of the later half of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, one of the more beloved Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and his deck, so not really surprised. Plus, they're like animal gems, so just they're a cool deck, cool aesthetic, and they also work in a cool way. So I'm not really surprised to see these in the top 5. Next is Madolche. This one is not surprising as well. It is a deck that is currently like competitive. It is able to compete with top level decks. But overall, I think like the price is being very expensive. People may be wanting like reprints, especially in the TCG. Maybe some TCG votes kind of boosted this one. But also it's super cute. The aesthetic is beloved by a lot of people, so not super surprised there. Next up is my personal vote is Trap Tricks. Again, another like kind of cutish deck. but it's a good control strategy. And with getting the new Link monster, they do kind of actually become a deck. Like before, like you weren't running them because like the Traptree cards just don't do enough, but with Sarah, it becomes like an actual semi-cohesive strategy, and I thought this would be a perfect way to like finally cement the rest of what the deck is kind of missing to make it into a legitimate tier 2, I would hope tier 2-ish strategy, because I think they're going to be tier 3, tier 2.5 right when they get Sarah. But yeah, that's my personal vote. I need to go in and actually put in a vote for that, because they are. I was gonna wait and see, because if they were like literally like 10th, I was gonna be like, all right, there's no point. But they're literally 3rd, so they actually have a chance, and I'm gonna definitely try and give them the best chance, because that's what I want. Next up is Charmers. This is the other one in my top 3, but I think it probably fell number 2, probably 2nd for me. So I'm not mad if they win at all. They're really a deck that doesn't really do much. We have been getting these Link monsters that can revive your opponent's monsters as long as they're the same attribute, which is a cool mechanic, just taking your opponent's stuff from the graveyard. But there's inherent weaknesses with that, where your opponent's going to leave their stronger monsters on the field, and they're going to try not to let their stronger monsters end up in grave. So it's going to be harder to get the good ones out of grave. But still a really cool deck, and I think if they were to really try and develop into something legitimate, it would be definitely a super interesting way. Like that's the only way they would really be able to do that. So Charmers, really cool. They don't really do much now, but I would love to see them like hopefully give this deck some playability, put them on some level of playability. And then the last one here is Shaddoll, sitting in 1st place. I didn't know how Shaddoll's would do. I know they have like a cult following, especially in the TCG, when Construct was on the ban list for so long and everybody wanted it. And I'm hoping this isn't just a backlash of that. I'm hoping this isn't just like everybody's been missing like Construct and like the playability of Shaddolls, but like, have Shaddolls ever been just like a straight up like pure Shaddol deck, or have they always just been an engine with other cards? I'm not really sure. Necessarily. Nowadays, all they are is an engine. You see them played sometimes with dinos, with trains, a couple specific niche going second decks with like El Shaddoll, or not El Shaddoll, just regular Shaddoll Fusion being so powerful. But yeah, they're cool, and we'll see. Not my personal pick, but I wouldn't be terribly mad if they won. I still think their aesthetic is cool. I just think weird, creepy puppets wouldn't have been my first guess as the deck that gets 1st place so far. But obviously things can still change, so definitely, like I said before, if you are rooting for another deck in this top 10, definitely go in there and put your vote in, because if you don't want Shaddolls, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to go to the Japanese website. You're going to have to get a Konami ID if you don't already have one, sign in, and then put your vote in, so that we can hopefully bump whatever you want up into that top tier. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you an update. I wasn't really expecting to get an update on this until Thursday, revealing the top 5 decks. But for now, we've got this, and definitely go votes, guys. So I'm definitely going to keep you updated as more of this voting goes, finalizes. But until then, I'll see you later. Peace.